Well, we'll share that with hello, everybody. We are live here, and we were just talking, and we're going to be getting into some deep stuff. So, favor to everyone, virtual hug. I got my co-pilot here. So,
Me too.
folks, this is really good because
Love you so, Drive.
even when you're feeling the blues, uh,
Yeah.
you can still hug your co-pilot there, and
Yep. Hug
yeah.
a hug a bear. Have a friend.
And have that virtual hug. I know. Hey, Miss Jenny, good to see you, hon. Hello, David Castle, Isby, Ellen, good to see you. Darth, hello, Gaza, welcome. It's summertime where he's at. Trina,
Wow.
Gaza, isn't Gaza down in Australia?
Australia, I think.
I
Yeah, it is
believe it is.
summertime there.
Hey, Marsha Price, what's up? Lost in
Hi, Marsha.
Space, Elderberry, good evening. Kaya, hello, bear hugs. I love that. I get it. Hey, Lucky Stone, how are you doing? Beloved Abstract, Maddie, good to see you. Grandpa. So Miss Trina, BOSTO to everyone. By the way, folks,
Yeah.
being of service to others is the key. And we'll say hi to, I know I haven't seen, hey, Cheesesteak, haven't seen you in a while. Haven't seen David Barry in a while. And I know Big Al, they can't participate anymore because they got the camera looking in. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. They're listening.
Big
They can't
brother.
they can't watch. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Trina, how are you, my dear?
I am hanging in there and I hear you're hanging in there too.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I shared this with Trina. So, I really like this amulet. This is, we know, is the Antata Corona. And um, so mine broke, it came off. And seriously, an hour or so later is when I actually hurt my ribs. Don't
Yep.
tell me this stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, and also too, I wonder if that was like a signal, caution, something's afoot.
Hey,
Oh,
who knows? I thought it was cheap manufacturing. I don't know.
I
I
think that's
don't
the
know,
way
but
the universe speaks to us.
uh,
I do, Wayne.
yeah,
I really do.
it's a
Power.
powerful
Mhm.
amulet for me. It really is. It's the sigil
Me
is
too.
powerful.
As soon as you showed it, I was like, whoa. And
Yeah.
like when I wear this, it gets so hot,
It,
right? Does yours get
yeah.
hot too?
Yeah. It's
Mine does too. It gets really hot because I love the other side with the spiral. Yeah, it's just it gets hot.
Oh, Marsha, well, that's very sweet of you. Marsha, she, I love her. She is so talented. She says, I have a replacement coming your way. Well, I'll just send the blessing upon you, the blessing. There we go. What did Tesla
Absolutely.
say? The pleasantness, Marsha, 100-fold, girl. I just
Favor, favor, favor,
favor,
favor,
favor.
favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it works. It works. So Trina, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been good. Last week was a little rocky and it's getting better. Energy was heavy. I had a couple, family members pass away last week. So, but moving on. Life is just continuing. So yeah, Saturday night, I don't know if I'll be able to be on Robert's show because that is when part of the celebration of life is for one of Kevin, for one who passed. So, but I might be going earlier, so I still might be able to make it. So we'll see. But yeah, things
Okay.
are just crazy.
Well, they're on the other side, and yeah,
Yeah.
I had one of these brief flashes um, lately in my meditation and even in my astral travels. Last night, I just left my body because it needed to heal,
Hmm.
and it dawned on me that, and here's just my opinion, is that my energy being, which possesses this body, I have a sense possesses this thing we call consciousness, because I really don't think my energy in its purest essence would actually knows consciousness. I know that sounds weird, but if you look at it, the and I'm trying to think of the book right now. It starts with an U. I'll think of it.
Okay.
Huh?
Eucharist?
No, it's a book. It's very thick. I'll think of it. But in it, it states that the highest form of existence is nothingness, because it's only in nothingness, and nothingness does not have consciousness to it. We step out of the nothingness, what is actually what we call that energy, and we step into what these realms are.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense because, like I said, within the nothingness it's the nothingness, but within that nothingness is the potential to receive a spark of consciousness, and it's like a womb. But yes, before all of it is that nothingness. I totally understand what you're saying. Totally.
And that's above time. And
Above everything. It's
it
above
is.
thought, it's
Yeah.
above feeling, it's above sensory, it's above code, it's above soul, it's above oversoul. It's way up there.
Now, I know Marsha Price will relate to this and others that have this background. So I'm going to speak this and I'll tell you where the reference, where it came from. And this is what I speak for myself. Every word that I speak that goes forth shall not return unto me void, but it shall prosper in the thing for which I sent it. Now, if you study that out, what that is saying is that I speak the future. So the spoken future is, in fact, the living past, because we, in essence, are just the now. We've lived the past, but we've yet to see the future fulfilled, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Think about it.
And we're stuck in these mind loops.
It
It's profound.
Well, Trina, when you think, and here's my difficulty. We've talked about this, and I've done videos on it. Is that I don't believe in the state of perfectness.
I don't either.
Interesting.
It's a state of agitation of creation. It's agitation. It's definitely it's the opposite of nothing and stillness. It's the
Yeah.
opposite.
I think living in a state of perfection would be hell.
I don't think that there is a
I
state of
don't, and I really don't believe that there is hell. I use it as a
I mean, if there
metaphor,
was a state of
allegory.
perfection, it would simply be the motion of in and out. Period.
And see, what I struggle with in my meditation is, well, what comes after perfectness?
Right. There would be back to stillness, the nothing.
I mean, if you've
Right.
reached perfectness, then you're going to go
You're like,
backwards,
I'm
baby.
done. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Yeah.
I saw on on your life that says the washing machine. Oh, he's going to go through re-rinse again.
Right. Right.
Oh man,
That's
uh,
funny. Oh, I saw our solar system go through a rinse cycle.
oh yeah. I tell you what, but oh man, it hurts. But you know what? I think that is so true when you think about it. Bernadette says perfection is relative, and there is a certain foundation to that, because if something's perfect for me, is it
Yes.
going to be perfect for you?
Right. It's not supposed to be, I
You're
don't
going to
think.
go in, you're going to like, hell, this is perfect. And I'm
Right.
going,
That's not my
what,
perfect.
man?
Right. I think
Yeah.
that's the fullness of creation is all the different perfects. That's the best part of it. Is because man, we don't all have the same idea of perfect. And that is brilliant.
This book
Brilliant
I'm
and
reading
great.
on the soulless ones, that
Mm.
this creation that we're in is the counterfeit. What we don't understand is the reason why many of us go for the spirituality of things in life. We become more philosophical in our approach, is that because we are the ones that were on the other side. They stole from us the essence of our existence by putting us here.
Mhm.
There is a doorway, and if you can see the background,
Mhm.
once we step through that door, things change. And Trina, this is what you and I were late about, and so I'll share it with everyone else. So there is the myth that you will hear this, and in fact, you can find and fact check that we use 10% of our brains. And people go by this all the time, but that's a myth. And in this article, by the way, this is, if anyone wants this came out in 2005. It basically shows everyone God doesn't exist. It exists within the consciousness of the individual. And anything that we see outside of that is nothing more than a servitor thought form. Now, it gets stranger because, Trina, what we have discovered is this, and I don't have time to go through this. If you want it, I'll email it to you. Just email me. Here it is. Everybody knows we only use 10% of our brain, right? Not according to neuroscience. This modern myth, made popular by the self-help movement group, is in fact not grounded in science at all. Through the brain imaging techniques, scientists have learned that although no single activity employs the entire brain, in the course of a day, we use it all.
That's profound. I
I
love that
mean,
information. I love, love, love that information.
so you and I were talking about, and folks, if you really want a good read, this is one. It's great mind coitus for you. It truly is. So Trina, Carl Sagan, in some of his seminars, and Alan Watts comes to mind as well. Even Hawkins would say the same thing. There is this thing, that what we call consciousness, subconsciousness, superconsciousness, unconsciousness, that there are firewalls in each of our brains that our consciousness is not allowed into.
Yeah, until you hit a certain theta, beta, delta, alpha frequency wave in the brain, then those doors are opened and the firewall is, you're able to get through.
It activates a
Yeah.
new aspect. Yeah. Many think in, philosophy that the Buddha consciousness, the Christ consciousness is one that is because of that consciousness being able to go through a number of firewalls that the average person will never discipline themselves enough to do.
I think so. And I think that's what the Rainbow Warrior stuff is. It's about being able to get through all the layers of your energy field, your chakra systems, and getting all of those colors to activate the white, the all color.
Mm-hmm.
It's that gate. It just opens that gate. And then you get outside of the physical awareness, consciousness, and you get into the awareness of higher self.
Yep. And, it's interesting because I'm practicing, and I know this may sound ridiculous to some people, but I'm practicing moving what we would call solid objects
Oh,
by
right on.
measuring by thought. And it's extremely difficult. It's
Yes.
tiresome is what it is.
Yes. I've worked on that a little bit too, and it takes a
Wow.
lot of energy. So yeah,
And then I hear from the other side, and I heard this very distinctly. Those who practice now will be at the head of the class later.
well, you know what frustrates me, Wayne? It's
Some
because
of you
when I
out
was
listening,
in sixth grade, we were like, let's just play and let's see if we can levitate somebody. And we totally did. And it was super easy. And it didn't take any energy at all.
so Trina, tune in tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to show you the latest evidence that there is, in fact, well, how do I put this in the right term? There's a mutation taking place,
Mm-hmm.
not in the whole species, but
Mm-hmm.
it's manifesting more and more. And now we're getting reports of children, particularly, that are now levitating. I have
Yeah.
where you're actually going to see the evidence of this, and it's not just one.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
is, there's I guess maybe a metamorphosis is the best word.
I totally saw that in the future. This was what they always showed me, that this was the second coming of Christ. People think it's a Jesus coming out of the clouds? No, it's not. It's these kids, it's these abilities, it's waking up to the potential of what it means to be human.
I'll tell you why I
Really?
think it's happening.
Yes. Huh?
The dark Siths have moved in. They're now here. They are, and I just going to lay it out there. They're ruling this planet. What we're about to see is going to be very unpleasant, but it's interesting because in the cosmic order of things, Trina, I always see a balance. And if there is a out of balance, if consciousness exists, then there has to be a cosmic consciousness that sets the scales in these other dimensions, these other worlds.
Remember I told you 3 layers deep in consciousness. Figure
Mm-hmm.
that one out. I was like, wow, that is kind of hard. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, 3 layers deep in consciousness. Yeah, at least.
And it always gets me into the point when you think about consciousness in itself. You see, I see consciousness being superior to the soul.
Yeah, I do too, but I see it kind of operating as a soul because each layer of it has a different function and personality and attribute.
It's odd that you say that because I actually, let me pull this up. You and I didn't talk about this, but
Mhm.
there is actually a component to that. Here it is. It's interesting that you brought this up. The synchronicities. Let me get this.
Yeah,
They're all over the place.
yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. So this is out of the Journal of Philosophy. This is the psychology and scientific methods of how we get in the aspect of the soul. And I love this, how they wrote this. They said the evolution of the idea of a soul is one of the most interesting and curious chapters in the history of human thought. Having an erroneous influence, not only, excuse me, an enormous influence, and it is erroneous, not only upon that was a Freudian slip, man, but
Totally
right
agree
on
too. Yeah.
time. You see, I'm occupying two different spaces here, Trina.
I love
Um, not only upon our religious, but also upon our philosophical and scientific conceptions. As this development is especially pertinent in some matters under current discussion, the guy says, I pursued some readers' notes on the topic with no thought of course, that my sketch of this is more provincial. So here's the thing there's 3 different souls.
That's what 3 layers deep in consciousness, 3 different souls. I
You
totally
see?
get that. And the way I can
Yeah.
see it right now, I don't have the fullness of the third aspect, but the first soul consciousness construct you would hold would be your individualized separate I am consciousness, your soul. Then the second layer would be that you're totally and directly and completely connected to the solar system. That's second layer soul that you have consciousness connection to and awareness of, and it affects you. The third level would be the great central sun or the great central solar system. Because see, these words have meaning.
I
So
do.
this is about soul, suns, solar systems. When you want to talk about your consciousness. And I think if we're in different solar systems, they're a completely different experience based on the construct of the soul.
It's a fascinating thing. I mean, and folks, if you don't have this, this is one you really should. It's a good read, and it really expands out on the whole idea. For instance, we talk about poltergeist,
Mhm.
phantoms, you know, phantoms. Um, so no one really answers what's going on here. Well, you've had friends, we've had a couple that this year have already passed over. And normally you never hear back from any of them.
Mhm.
Now, then you have these, and I thought it was interesting. So, is a poltergeist evidence of a soul, a
I don't
ghost?
think so. I don't think so. I think poltergeist is some type of energy, entity, but I don't know that it's actually a soul. Because ghosts I think are souls maybe. But poltergeist is different. It's a little trickster moving things around.
But they're powerful
Oh,
beings
they're very
because
powerful. Yeah.
hauntings, if you want to call it, it's interesting where the word phantasm comes from because it actually comes from Greek, and it's from by the realm, by the dream images and hallucinations of the conception of the phantasmal duplicate of the body, a doppelganger.
Uh-huh.
Visible, but normally intangible and effervescent.
It's
The
weird.
phantasmic soul is often of a mannequin, though it may be an exaggeration of the physical form. The Greek word, it comes into the Latin from what we get simulations from, simulacrum, the English fetch, wraith, doppelganger, respectively to the Celt, Nordics, and Scottish origins.
You know what's really weird?
It's
My dad had that in his house.
Oh, really?
He had poltergeist activity and ghost activity, both. It was off the hook. I
So,
mean, cabinets slamming, weight systems operating on their own, toilets flushing by themselves, big heaps of silverware being thrown into the stainless steel sink in the middle of the night. Like, sounds like an earthquake's going off in the kitchen. Yeah, it was crazy, Train.
I'm reading in the chat room. It's going by so quickly, but um, I contend that we're not being told something because I think every agenda, every religion, every movement has their own goals that they're working towards. And so, you know, I keep on saying to myself, well, we capture evidence of these inner dimensions crossing bridges. And I think that that's a
Mhm.
lot of what we're seeing. I don't personally think, for the most part, that the reason why they don't stay here is that because they're not here to begin with. Now, I don't know about poltergeists. I don't know about these other demons because that wouldn't make sense. That kind of leads you to being in belief that there are others here besides what we call humans.
Totally. I must agree.
So, Trina, are you ready for this?
Mhm.
I am. In fact, I owe you both an email on this, but I'm getting emails of more activity happening to people at night.
Yeah, I think for some reason the veil's gotten thinner and they
I'm
haven't
getting
to
I'm
see
getting
what happens.
reports from not just women,
Uh-huh.
but from guys that are being, I will just say this, physically raped.
Yeah, they need to, like you said, put some symbols underneath the bed. They need to put salt in their
I
rooms.
do something. I
Got to
know
get
that's
the
serious, folks.
protection.
It really
Yeah.
is.
And you also
Um,
too, you got to look in your consciousness and say, how did this door get opened within my auric field? You need to look at the door. How did this get into the door? So
well,
look at that too.
it's there's something that's changed. We're seeing atmospheric anomalies.
Oh
I
my
was
God, did you
listening.
see all the weird plasma stuff?
Is that now? I'm looking at this, and like again, I'm a skeptic on this. The camera, the reason why I'm a skeptic on it is that it's out of focus, and I don't know if there is moisture on the inside of
Uh-huh.
the lens. Here's
Mm-hmm.
my problem, because if anyone who knows how a camera works, there's not just a single lens in a camera.
Correct.
You have a back lens, and
Yep.
if you have a really good camera, you'll have several lenses in between here. The problem when you have a CCD camera that is not, one that actually uses Kodak film,
Right.
is that it only takes minuscule amounts of moisture to be amplified by the light.
Mhm.
That's the only thing. I'm not saying it's not happening.
No,
I
that
think,
totally makes sense. And that's why I was wondering if you knew anything about that because I could see that as a potential, but wow.
and as I
Interesting.
understand, I don't know, are these CCD cameras? I mean, when no one is saying where these cameras are, what type of cameras, is this being a handheld? I have a list of questions. And so,
The only ones that I've heard of, most of them have been in Russia and the Ukraine, and they're just weather cameras, just live
see,
weather cameras from anywhere.
yeah,
So
see,
I
for
don't know.
me, yeah. Now, I don't know if you caught Mr. MBB. This is a self plug for him over there, Mr.
I like
MB3B.
him. He's out of
And
Phoenix, Arizona too.
yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah,
Now,
Mesa.
he's had
Yeah.
some interesting things of what people are showing. I think that as we continue to see the magnetopause collapse, I think we're going to see a lot of weird stuff out there.
I do too. And when they talk about the end of this age would be the fire, I don't know that it's fire like regular fire. I wonder if it's plasma type of
It would
fire,
make sense.
electrical discharge fire. That's what I keep seeing. I think it's going to be, yeah. There's
Well,
something going on with this passing by of this thing that's coming through this system right now.
it's
It's going to
here.
cause, yeah, the electricity, the discharge. Mama Earth is going to fight this thing. It's
So
going to
the
be no way around that.
electromagnetic energy, people are not paying attention to this because this is where someone like Ben Davidson is showing that it's here, but there is a electromagnetic aspect of it. And I keep on saying that there are life forms of a higher dimension that actually exist in that, Trina.
I would bet you're right because they always talk about the return of the gods.
I think they're
So,
coming.
wouldn't that make sense? And they people come out of the heavens in big old ships. Yeah, people are gonna say, wow, those are gods. We wouldn't, but most people would.
Now, here's what really got me. When Ben showed the evidence today that Pluto lost 25% of its atmosphere in less than a year.
I know, I saw. That's
It
crazy.
happened last year, folks.
Wow.
And so I'm looking at all this and I'm going, okay, wait a minute. See, I don't believe the prophecies of the Bible. What I do believe is what we can look in stone. And the interesting thing is that if you look at whether it's in India, whether it's in Mesopotamia, we know that these beings were here. And I contend that they came through when Shoal's star came through our solar system. Some theorize that that was when Earth was pulled from Saturn. That when the Shoal's star came through, it was a brown red dwarf, that it screwed up our solar system. And what we're seeing today is not actually what it really was. Someone is
That
saying,
makes sense. That just makes sense. I mean, and aren't they seeing changes already on Jupiter as well?
yeah,
That's what I thought.
Venus
And
is
yeah,
changing its orbit. I mean,
holy
its
crap.
rotation. Folks, this is listen,
Uh,
I pre-ordered the book. And so
you
Ben
know,
Davidson, I'm giving you a shout out. He's got a book coming out called the Catastrophe series. Catastrophe, I think. Anyway, um, I think we're all at this conjunction, Trina. I'm just telling you, I just really do. I think there is a physical metamorphosis taking place in certain humans. I actually
I
do believe
do
that.
too.
Yeah.
Wayne, I totally do. And I think it's because of the new light and the new electromagnetics that are going to be coming in at this time. I think this is why throughout evolution you see these just automatic bursts in genetic changes that they can't have no explanation for. It's just like this whammo thing happens and it's like magic. This is what's getting ready to go down. I saw rainbow fish and pink elephants and all kinds of crazy stuff. I was like, but I literally heard the rainbow is coming into the genetic codes. It's like there's going to be rainbows of fish, rainbow snakes, rainbow this, rainbow. I just saw these rainbows coming.
All I can say,
And it was from, Wayne, was the
what?
purple light. They kept saying it's from the new
Ooh.
plasma, purple light. Yeah, they kept saying that.
See, I'm a big fan of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I've
I
read the
haven't read
book,
that. I heard
love
it's
the movie.
phenomenal.
Oh, you have to watch the movie. I mean,
I heard it's great. Yeah.
oh, it's great. It explains everything. And
Wow.
I absolutely believe that there is a place where purple light is the dominant light. Why wouldn't it be?
That's the purple planet. It's got that purple light as the
Yeah.
dominant light. I've seen planets that have that. I mean, if you learn how to travel, you just travel and you can go see places. Really,
Loretta says 42 is the answer of the universe. It is
yes,
true.
42.
Oh man, y'all stop making me laugh. But yes,
Yeah.
42. It's
That always gets me back to the 42 laws of Ma'at.
and you see, it is
Yeah,
the answer to everything. It's
yeah.
you know, and so when I think about the fact that it's actually in the the Colburn Bible, the bronze books. And in there, they have the story of what this planet was like way back. And they talk about there was no light, the yellow light.
Yeah.
What there was a golden light.
Wow.
And they contend that golden light came from Saturn.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it was Jupiter that was brought into this solar system
Mhm.
with Shoal Star that passed through about 70,000 years ago. It changed
Wow.
mankind.
It would, because
Yeah.
it's a new sun,
Yeah.
which is new codes, because we receive our codes of life from the sun,
Yeah. We
from the
couldn't
light.
take it. The humans that were there at the time, they died off. There was a genetic collapse.
That would make sense.
And yeah,
That would
then came
totally,
us.
yeah.
Well, actually, the progenitors of that would have been, Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon, but eventually it came to us.
Maybe that's why these reseedings take place, where they have to reseed planets, is because these kind of things happen.
So here's a question. If we believe in reincarnation, then if Homo neanderthalis, we know the Neanderthals lived, the same thing with Cro-Magnon, the same thing with denizens. Did they have a soul?
I think
They
so.
were intelligent. They spoke.
Yeah, I think that they did.
They
Absolutely.
believed in death rituals.
Uh-huh. I think they did. Yeah.
So is it possible that maybe some of us are actually Neanderthals?
It's in my genetics.
Thank you.
I have 4% in my
So,
genetics, which is very high.
I've been studying. Yes, I'm still studying on my chart, folks. Yes.
Right on.
Someone sent me a very long book. The one PDF I have, that's a deep one. But anyway, so getting into the heritage thing, so we know from the human genome that was discovered in 2005, and for myself, I know where I came, and where I came from was more predominant by Neanderthals.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
just as you said, maybe there was a
The
past life that I
Norwegian.
was a Neanderthal. Maybe you were too.
Well, I do. I think a lot of the Norwegian,
Yes,
Neanderthal, Celtic, Neanderthal. I think that's a lot of, yes, a lot of that. Yes.
because
Yeah, I really do believe so. Yeah, I'm all,
this is where
yeah,
I'm from. If I can
me
ever
too.
get
All
it.
Norwegian, all in
Yeah.
those little small island right off the
Yeah.
coast, where the Welsh, the Dutch, the Scottish.
And where I get my cooking abilities, I'm a 10 to the, actually, I'm almost 11% Italian. So, I can make it the sauce. I can make it the,
Yeah, yeah,
so, but it's so true, isn't it?
yeah.
Someone says, no reply, says they're Czech strong. Yeah. Um, it's interesting. But it's one of those questions I ask because we're at that age, I think about our ancestors.
It's so profound now, because I used to think about that a lot too. And it's a beautiful thing, but then I also have an awareness that I have Atlantean and Mu genetics in my lineage. And I'm also aware that I have lineage from Venus. And I'm also aware that I have some type of a connection to Mars, either through family or I don't know. So we have multi-dimensional, multi-universal code within our DNA. And with that is gifts and treasures of things that you've mastered.
You just had me on a thought because since we know that there's aspects of the brain that consciousness either cannot perceive or what, it's a question that I can contend with. Is there more than just one consciousness within all of us?
Yes. Yes. Don't you know there is, Wayne?
I
Did you
know
know
there
there's
is.
that part of yourself that when you connect to it, you're like, damn, dude, you are smart. You know, you
I've
just
talked to my
know.
10-year-old
You're
self.
like, what part of me can be that brilliant? You know, but it's part of you.
It
So
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I've talked to the 10-year-old Wayne. He's a cool
That's a
kid.
super smart part of us too. That's one of my favorite parts is the inner
Yeah.
child. Oh yeah.
And I
Oh,
said, so what do you think? And he literally said, not quite what I had planned.
right.
And I
Yes,
went,
yes.
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, all right, sure. Yeah, not quite what we had
Absolutely.
planned, you know. And
Yeah.
of course, none of us ever want to see ourselves as old.
Right.
Oh no, that ain't ever going to happen to us. Well,
Right.
you know, if you die young, then sure, that's never going to happen to you.
Right.
But
Many of us
yeah,
get old. Yeah.
but we do get old. I saw
Yeah.
recently, I saw Brian Gumble,
Mhm.
and I said, holy crap, when did
Yeah.
he get old? And my wife looked over at me and she said, well, when did you get so damn young?
Right. Right.
But you
Hey,
know,
it's all where we're supposed to go. I think it's
oh man,
beautiful, beautiful part of it. Yeah.
it's
Bring it
so
on.
true. And you know,
Yeah.
the aspect I think, you know, because you know, I tell Lynn this all the time. I said, honey, listen, we know that the departure date is coming. As
Mhm.
you get older, those realities become real. And
Absolutely.
they do, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah. Oh, Trina, you still look like you're in the mid-20s. So, hon,
Yeah, well, like
uh,
I said, my friend just died last week. My grandfather, everybody's got a
yeah.
time and we don't know when that time is. So, every day truly is a gift.
Well,
Enjoy
the
the
boomers are
present.
definitely heading out.
Yes.
Our time on this planet is coming to an end. Our
Yes.
influence is as well. We've
Yes.
planted the seeds. I'm not so sure we're going to like the harvest, but
Yes.
you know,
Right.
um, there is for me, Trina, there's a certain serenity and peace because I'm watching this more from the observer than the actually participant.
Me too.
Does that
I
make sense?
completely, oh God, yes, I completely
Yeah.
resonate with that. It's like anytime I start to get caught up into the energy of it, I have to refocus my energy, ground myself, and go, silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. You're here to watch and participate. And I'm doing both. So, when you get to a place where you understand that consciousness is just that, it's a point of view reflecting an awareness that's within you to the
Mhm.
outside world coming into the inside world. It's just a dance of in and out. It's a dance of breath. It's a dance of aha moments. It's a dance of oh shit moments. It's all of it. And then
It's the dance, though. I like how you said that because
yeah.
this is what it is. Who was it? I don't know if it was the Pat Metheny group. I think it may have been, but they have a composition called "The Dance," and
Mm,
it really is the dance. I mean, you think about it. You know, I've
yes.
loved this life. I mean, it has been groovy. You know,
Me
and
too.
when, of course, and
And if
even with the ups and downs.
these planets are coming in and everything's going to go crazy, this is all part of creation. So
Yeah,
to be able to not be rocked by any of it, but to be more in awe of it and to participate and add to it in a balanced way to the best of your ability, boy, that's mastery. So
yeah.
yeah, the observer, you know, the watchers. Many of us are the watchers. And Wayne, when you get into the state of the observer, you're now becoming a watcher.
You know, you want to know a little game I play when I meditate?
Hmm.
I play this game of projecting myself ahead of everything I've ever done that's been broadcast by radio or television. Because if I get ahead of all of those signals,
Mm-hmm.
I get to watch myself all over again.
Right.
I mean, that's truly when I can said, you know, you actually have what I would call hallway sex because you're passing yourself and you're going up yours too, buddy. You know,
Absolutely.
so I
Absolutely.
mean, but yeah, think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it I do, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, like I said, this is a rock and ride roller coaster.
So speaking, here's some questions. I love questions, as you know. As you do.
Yeah,
All of us in here, we love questions. That's why we're in here. That's why we
absolutely.
go, okay. So here's one. So again, on the soul, we talk about the soul. The speculation is left that many ancient questions remain. Listen, our ancestors asked the same questions. Does
Yeah.
the soul exist? Is reincarnation possible? Can the soul survive bodily death? Can the soul exist separate from the body? If there is an immortal soul, what kind of a thing is it? What is the relationship between the soul and the body? Does a soul have existence before birth or before conception? After death, might compensation for the inequities of life be visited on the soul? Is man endowed with three kinds of soul, the rational, the irrational, and the man or the other animal? The vegetative, related to growth, inherited traits, evolution. These are just a couple of the questions, Trina. How do you see that?
I totally see it. Like I said, I see it like the soul is a spacesuit and it's the divine feminine part of creation. So
Hmm.
it's the feminine part. So like the
So would the
source,
soul be the suit itself?
yeah, because
So
you
the
have to
essence
have,
would be filled with something
yeah, like I
else.
said, you have copycats that can copy the physical template of the soul, but it's a soulless being. That's because it's artificial intelligence. It's not organic from source. Source, soul template. I think you get a soul to incarnate upon a different planet. So your soul is the spacesuit you have to put on to get into that simulation,
Hmm.
reality, construct, planet, star, whatever you're experiencing as a conscious part of source. So but before you get into your actual identity, your individualized soul aspect, that soul has to be coded with the construct of the solar system that it's in, or it wouldn't know how to operate. So you have another soul that you put on to go into the incarnation or simulation or whatever, because you have to have the programs to run the avatars
Yeah.
and the nature and the whatever wherever you're at. So I see it like whatever you as consciousness are experiencing, you have to put on the appropriate spacesuits to get into those constructs, or you're basically more of the all, which is kind of like the nothing because it's too much. The only way you can experience creation is to separate from it. So that's
See,
why we fractal out.
oh, look at the puppy dog. He's a pretty
Yeah,
puppy.
so the soul, I think, is like a spacesuit, and I think you can exist totally without soul because then you're spirit. You're the
Yeah.
spirit. Should you be?
Look at the puppy. He's so pretty. Give me a
He
paw.
is a good boy.
Give me a paw.
He got the paw on my shoulder.
Hello.
Can I?
Look at there.
Yes.
Is
Oh,
that the
he's giving you
baby?
the paw.
Oh, he's a pretty boy. Yes. Oh, it's a pretty boy.
Good boy. Yes,
He
he's
actually
just
gave me his paw.
he did. He was
Yeah,
lifting his paw when you said that.
yeah.
You hear
Gotta
Wayne?
love that.
He's like, where is he? I don't see him.
So Randy brought out a good that point. The soul, the sun is called soul.
Yes.
SOL. Yeah. I
Yes.
mean,
That's
and
what
many
it, yeah.
believe that the energy that we are picking up from this sun is
It's
what
the
actually keeps
programmer.
us trapped here.
The programs come from the sun, the
Yeah.
soul. So I'm telling you, it's consciousness and consciousness and consciousness until you're into your identical, individualized soul aspect in the human form. That's the fractal of the layers of yourself, though. It's profound the way they've shown it to me. It's like spacesuit and a spacesuit. And then they showed me like the earth is like a spaceship inside of a spaceship inside of a spaceship.
As you were just saying, the I believe it's the Greek word for wanderer, planet is Nibiru. Um, so some, and here's the myth. Some people think that a planet cannot exist with life if it's not next to a sun. That's not true. In fact, planets have the ability to hold life. With as long as the energy is on the inside, that planet's going to live. May not on the outside, but here's my point. This event that happened about 70,000 years ago, what if what all of us are experiencing is something just very recently, and that this sun, the soul, has an energy that once you get captured into that energy field, it's very difficult to actually begin to break away from it. But what if
Absolutely.
there were portals
Mm-hmm.
that existed on the exit of the body,
Mm-hmm.
that there are what I would call escape tubes?
Yeah. Yeah, Wayne, that's the biggest risk of coming in here is getting trapped. It's the biggest risk of incarnating here was what they told me was getting trapped. And that's because you forget about your spirit. But once
Yeah,
you
I'm
remember,
convinced that's why many don't return.
totally, because once they know that what they are, they're not controlled by anything anymore. They're free. So that's how we get the wandering stars. This is how they come about, is because they're free.
Jenny, you're right. There is a different light underground, and it is actually a light.
Yes,
It literally is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the atomic
Yeah.
energy that all matter is made of, is the atomic photon. It's photonic light,
Mm-hmm.
living, conscious, photonic light.
I'm going to say this, and I say it in a positive way, Trina. I am more prepared for the eventuality of the departure of my existence on this planet, because now I'm viewing it from a whole different perspective. It's not about, heaven or hell, because those don't exist for me.
Mhm.
And so now it's like did you ever see the movie Mr. Megorium's Wonderful Emporium?
Yes, that is amazing.
So
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman had the most profound moment when he was talking right before his departure.
Yeah.
And he said, "It's my time now,
Yeah.
and I'm looking forward to the next journey
Yes.
of wonders that beyond my capacity to even comprehend. Don't
Yeah.
be sad for me upon my departure, but rejoice in the fact that what is in front of me." That's what I see now.
Absolutely, because you are creating it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy crap, Wayne. Congratulations.
Mm, mm,
Wow.
mm, mm.
Yeah, more people need to get on board with that, because literally you are that powerful and you literally will get what you think about. What you think about, you will bring about. So, guys, imagine the best thing you could ever imagine. That's what you should put your energy into, because literally, don't let the story tell you what you are. You need to remember what you are and embrace that, and embrace the magic that's within you. That's organic to creation itself, because you are
Mm,
a child of that. It's
mm.
where you come from.
I see it so often now that, you know, it literally for myself, it's a doorway. It's a
Mhm.
doorway and I've looked through that doorway, and it used to scare me because all I saw was blackness. But what I never perceived is that within the blackness, there are yet a trillion lights.
Yeah. Like I said,
You
I
know,
know for me, my destination, um, when I leave my physical body, is destination self. I'm going to find myself, and I'm not going to stop until I find the biggest part of me that looks like I'm looking at God. I will not stop until I go straight to this massive source of light that is me. And I will not stop until I reach that destination. So when I
by the way,
decided to
the
do
beach will
that,
be open, folks. When I
no,
pass
and
through, the beach will be open.
it's funny too, Wayne, because I think that was part of the understanding that you dropped soul. When you really go back to the highest parts of yourself,
Yeah.
you have to drop all identity of soul, all of it. It has to drop. And there was a testing part where I went through that with that serpent. So I was like, I'll drop my body, I'll drop this, so I'll drop it all. I was like at that point, and yeah, so there is
Can I say
something to
something that,
that.
here's the thing, I'm rather envious of my soul because I know when I make the departure from my soul, my spirit's going somewhere else, but my soul is going to be one partying dude. I mean,
Totally.
I'm jealous. I got to tell you, and I understand that I could stay around if I want, but I know that my soul in the essence is, it's going to be a
Mhm.
partier. I mean, already is,
Absolutely.
always has been.
But you know, it's so weird. There's some part of me that knows is even when you like drop your spacesuit, it's kind of like here when we drop our body, it doesn't take away the experience of that
No.
body. So
Mm-mm.
even when you drop that soul, your spirit is still housing all the experiences of that soul. So like
Yes.
nothing's lost. It's
Yeah.
all still there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
within your
Smoke
spirit.
them if you got them.
Absolutely.
You know what? It's interesting that someone said that because who said that, by the way? No reply. Um, I have been at times in, again, doing things around the house that you have to do, but those are perfect moments for meditation for myself. And it's
Yeah.
funny because I don't think people understand for many of us, the transition is going to be like that.
Yeah.
And you're going to literally, it's not going to be a thought, and you're got it. And I'm going to tell you, if I'm speaking to someone specifically, is that the reality is going to be hard at first because it's going to look like this reality.
Yeah.
You're going to be
Like I
able to
said.
taste your iced tea sweetened. You're
Yeah.
going to be able to, depending on where you are, it's going to be very much like, and yes, you do eat, because eat is more thought than it is physical. Anyway, Trina.
If Brian confirms stuff for me all the time because we used to talk about this stuff a lot. And, one of the things that he mentioned was nothing physical matters. And it's like, I understand that. So if when you can get to the nothing physical matters, if you decide to ascend higher, that's how you get there, is by understanding you want nothing to do with matter. You're going above matter. So just know that that's also another path. And I'm pretty sure that's the path that Brian took. And that's why he went so high. And yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. And I
yeah.
think that that's what
Because
happens.
he also, too, he said, nothing controls or rules over me. That,
And if you get that into your consciousness, the other side will not be. Listen, I'll tell you how I prepared. Brian and I talked about this once. As I told him, I said, when I pass over, I said, if I have to be a person ready for a fight,
mhm,
then bring the battle on.
mhm.
I project that it won't be that way because I think the energy that but I'm not naive to understand that I think it's wild. It's the wild, wild west on the other side.
I do too, because I think it's about soul harvesting. I think
I think
that
it is
this has
too.
been going on for a very long time, and these entities and energies are going to show up as your brother, your cousin, your mother, your God, your Jesus, your Buddha, whatever you believe. They're going to come and show up as your guardian angel, whatever you believe. They're going to try to talk you into going somewhere. But most of us are smart enough to know not to get pulled into that trap.
I'd be going, what?
Yeah,
I'm the
that's what I
damn
mean,
bus
Wayne. You're
driver.
gonna be
Get
like,
out of that seat.
and that's what I mean. We understand there's something about trusting yourself and having a desire to return to your own core wisdom, knowing self. And the ones that, and even like the Temple of Delphi, what's over the gate? Know thyself.
No,
These
thou
are
so.
keys to get out of all the traps that are going to be put in front of you, is to trust and know thyself. And when you truly get to that place, you understand why they tell you that, because the kingdom of heaven is inside of you. It's not outside, it's inside.
Jenny says, Jenny, this is hurting. Bring it on. I'd be like Donkey Kong.
Right on, girl. I'm with you. I
Oh,
am totally
Jenny.
in agreement. I love it.
Hey, Jenny, let's have you on next week. Oh, God almighty,
Absolutely.
that is
Hey,
funny.
Wayne, are you wrapping your ribs?
Yeah, I mean, they're heavily bruised is what they are, and
No,
so I
I mean,
have
have
them
you
so, but
wrapped them with an ace
a
bandage?
little bit, yes, to
Okay, 'cause
sleep
that
last
seemed
night.
to really
Yeah,
help me when I did
yeah,
that. It really
yeah.
helped a
It's
lot. Yeah. You
well,
poor
we've got
thing.
an
I feel
audience
your
out there
pain,
that's
Wayne.
making these statements that are just they're funny. That's all I got to
Oh,
say.
right
They're
on.
funny. Someone said they didn't know I was Jewish. I'm not Jewish. Well, actually, I'm technically 0.8% Azerbaijani Jewish.
Wow.
I have no idea where that came from. Must have been a wandering Jew that came through my DNA patch. I mean, I don't know. So
Right
how do
on.
you account for that? I don't know.
That's awesome.
So, all right. So Jenny says she's going to come on. That'd be
I would
great.
love it. I
Yeah,
love her.
that'll be
She's such
fun.
a just
I just,
shining bright star.
she
Love her.
is, um, she has a Gnostis about her that, I
Yes,
find
she
quite
does.
amazing. Heaven was Uranus, where the angels could fly near the core in its atmosphere. Okay. All right, Wang, I can see that. Listen, if planets are alive, yeah. Uh,
Oh yeah.
I am 1%. No reply says, well, there you go. You know,
Yeah.
why do ghosts wear clothes? That's what I ask Isby all the time. How do they know where the floor is at? I mean, is a ghost controlled by gravity?
Like I said, I think those are souls.
Yeah, I mean, I
They're
often
like in
wonder
that
how do they
spacesuit,
know to
you
stay
know?
underground?
Yeah, it's like a spacesuit, but not all of the consciousness is there anymore. But part of it is still existing and it's going through the same patterns that are in the consciousness of that soul, because those are the programs.
All I hear is Frank Sinatra in the background. Fly me to the moon. Let me visit amongst the stars.
Absolutely.
Let me know what it's like on Mars. Anyway, so
I
I
don't
like
know why,
Frank
but I see
Sinatra. I really
me.
did. I was a real big fan of the 30 crooners. I mean, that was such a great time of music. Anyway, I digress.
When I think about leaving, a lot of the times, Wayne, I really, I do. I see the stars,
Yeah.
and a lot of times I see the Milky Way, and then sometimes I see Pegasus, and it's like
Hmm.
I'm going somewhere near the Pleiades. There's a stargate, a portal into another dimension within the Andromeda system, and it's M36 or something. I can't remember what it's called, but and there's a whole nother universe behind that they can see. And for whatever reason, part of that says that that's part of where my home is, behind the Andromeda constellation through Pegasus.
I could see that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's interesting.
Well,
So yeah.
I just hope they have music.
Oh, they must, Wayne, or I'm coming back because
Yeah.
yeah, I love music. Oh boy.
Ghost is one of my I think that in the modern age, Ghost would probably come down as probably the number one love movie. Um,
Oh, I loved it too.
you know, what was the other one with Jennifer O'Neill in it? Where she died. Um, and I forget who the co-star was on that.
The one I love too is Dragonfly with Kevin Costner.
Hmm.
You never seen that?
I don't recall.
Oh
No.
wait, that's a good one, and it's a profound of how we can do things from the spiritual realm out of absolute necessity. Out of necessity, we can actually intervene in this world.
Saw Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come True.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's profound.
Yeah, that one's really deep. I
Oh, it
mean,
is.
yeah, yeah, it really is. Um,
I love
well,
Phenomena too with John
I
Travolta.
thought that was
Phenomena.
interesting as well.
Yeah.
I listen, I liked Streisand and the way we were, you know.
Uh-huh.
I thought, you know, her and Robert Redford, that to me was what that was truly a love story.
Mhm.
Just
Absolutely.
anyway. I don't go for Barbara's politics, but her talent, you know.
And her voice, oh my
People
gosh.
ask me all the time, well, you know, how do you, because sometimes, you know, they have some pretty way out views, and it's like this. I say, you know, when I hire a carpenter, I didn't hire him for what he thought or believed. I hired him because he was good at what he does.
Correct.
You know,
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I love Streisand in the movie What's Up, Doc?
Mm-hmm.
When that
Yeah.
came out, I had a crush on Barbara Streisand because that movie is, well, it's a classical comedy, but it's, yeah, anyway, I digress.
I love the one where she was the shrink. Was that War of the Roses?
No, no,
Yeah.
that is Pat Conroy's book.
Yeah. I love that.
Oh, come
She was
on.
the
I see
shrink.
the title of it right now. That one's one with Nick Nolte.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not on
that's a
Golden Pond. Dang it.
Pat Conroy, and someone help me out on the movie. What is the movie? I can see it.
Yeah, she was so good in that.
Oh, that is the really intense movie. Come on, folks. What is the movie? Pat Conroy wrote it. And I can see the I know someone in the audience has got to do that. I can't get to Google right
Yeah,
quick.
they'll tell you in a minute. It's got to
Yeah,
play
yeah.
in chat. Yep.
Oh, Prince of Tides. Thank
There we
you,
go.
Michael.
There
Yes,
we
yes,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a great movie. And wow,
You know,
she was so good in that. I was like,
George Carlin was in that. I thought he played a great role in that. It
yeah,
it was really I love the book. Um, uh, lived with a woman at the time, and we were just really that movie had so much impact, and the book was very impactful as well.
yeah,
Yeah, anyway, all right, Trina, Prince of Tides. Yeah, yeah, it's
yeah.
yeah,
Like I
famous
said, it's
last
our
lines in the movie.
memories and our
Pardon?
thoughts are basically this is what the whole gig is on this game here.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
whole gig is consciousness. What do you think about? What do you bring about? What are you creating? What programs are you running? Are you stuck in the past or are you living in the present? Are you creating a positive future or are you creating a future based on the time loops of the past that you're stuck into and the traumas of the past that you're stuck in?
yeah.
This is the whole game. And it seems like right now, um, we're going to need to get a little stronger because it looks like the dark one, the dark energy, for whatever reason, it looks like it's trying to feed because obviously it's getting not fed. So we're seeing an increase with this. So we're gonna have to get our
We're
strength
gonna
up.
give it a run for its money. That's for sure.
Oh, we're gonna kick its
Yeah,
butt for
yeah,
reals.
yeah.
Again, really, we are. But like I said, that's how it's done because 90% of it is identifying, knowing what's going on. And just right now, we're in this. I think we're gonna get a break pretty soon. But boy, everybody can feel it, but we can't put our finger on it. You
Not
know?
yet. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The
We're
Summer of
getting.
42 was another good love story. That was another good
What
one.
is it?
Summer of 42.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Summer 42.
yeah. Check that one out.
Again, that number 42.
Yeah. It's the secret to the universe. So, all right, folks. Thank you, Blazing River. Already kicking ass. I like that, Angel. Thank
Right
you.
on.
Thank you. Well, Miss Trina, so you'll be on Friday,
I'll
is
be
it over
on
on
Friday
Andromeda
night.
7?
Yep. And I think Wednesday night we're doing a show on Andromeda 7 too with Mandy and
Excellent.
Delbar, Sun Rabbit. So we can talk about the Australian and Egyptian links and
Ah,
ancient stuff and frequency and the connection to the sun and yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. So
Chris.
Wednesday, Andromeda 7, Friday, Andromeda 7, Saturday, I'm still up in the air because I do have a family thing I have to
Okay, well,
attend.
we'll send
So
you positive vibes.
thank
Queen
you.
Anne, she sent me some information about the Egyptian and uh Australia. So it'd be interesting. I'll watch that.
Absolutely.
All
There's
right,
something going on
everyone.
there, Wayne. I really
Huh?
do think. I think there's something going on
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
information putting these creation stories together right now. We're seeming to be able to put a lot of this
I
information.
suspect everything in history because remember, history is
I
always
do
written through
too.
the eyes of the victor,
I do
never
too.
the victim.
But the thing is that these old things are getting birthed out of the earth. So
Yeah,
this is going to help us out a lot.
I agree. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, everyone.
Yes.
We
So
just love the fact that it's an honor that y'all come in and spend the hour with us, sometimes more.
abs-
And thank you, Soul Tribe. And
thank
Miss
you.
Trina, I'll see you next Tuesday, and I'll tune in
Absolutely.
on your other shows. Thank you, everyone. We'll see y'all tomorrow. All right. Peace
Bye
out,
bye.
everyone. Bye bye.